Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Jared Shep, and I'm going to briefly introduce EPICS, which is Engineering Projects in Community Service. So I'm Dr. Jared Shep. I'm an associate teaching professor at ASU and the director of our EPICS program. I've been at ASU now for 7 years and been in the director role for that time as well. I've been the co-director for 4 years and then the director for the last 3 years. A unique story about myself is I actually was in the EPICS program 15 years ago at Arizona State University during my undergraduate time. So I was a student working on a variety of different projects. Then when I graduated with my PhD, I had the opportunity to become the co-director and then since then become the director of the program. So I've had a unique opportunity to kind of see the program from the student perspective, lecture position while I was doing my PhD, and then co-director, now director role as well. So ultimately, my goal for the EPICS program is for our students to have a better experience than I did when I was in the program by giving them more opportunity for resources and finding high quality projects for them to work on. In terms of my experience, I briefly worked on some projects in the EPICS program that I created into social ventures that provide a lot of good lessons learned to help our student projects. And then in terms of our program, we have about 600 students per semester across about 70 to 75 projects. So we have a lot of students and a lot of opportunities for them to choose between all of those different projects. In terms of EPICS, it's engineering projects in community service. It is a design-based program, so we focus on the design side of engineering rather than the research side of engineering. So most of the time, our students look at challenges in the community with their community partner, and then they think about how they can take things that already exist and bring them together into new, unique ways to then solve that problem. Some of our projects do turn into social ventures. So a lot of times the students recognize that their project is just one area that they're focused, and there's opportunities to grow and scale that to help even more people. In terms of what is the program, so at our university, we are a large scale program. It might look very differently for you as you start, and we'll be helping you provide the tools to be successful in that. For us, we are a multidisciplinary program across all engineering disciplines, and we cater for freshmen through seniors at our institution. So anyone can join within our engineering school. So it's a great opportunity for these students to meet other students in different disciplines and see how all of the different engineering degrees can come together to create a final solution. Our projects are multi-semester projects, so it is not a one-semester class. It is a multi-semester program where students can take it multiple times and really is however long that they would like for them to work on that project. So we have some students that take it for 1 or 2 semesters, and then we have other students who take it for every semester that they're at our university, and allows them to really gain a lot of hands-on application-based experience to put on their resume. All of our projects are real projects, so none of these are theoretical or hypothetical projects. None of them are like large-scale sustainability development goals. They're all specifically working with an individual, most of the time a community partner who is at a nonprofit or maybe an end user facing the problem themselves. And we ensure that that's a key component of our program to ensure that our students have a key stakeholder to help guide them through understanding the true problem. We are really, that's a really important part for us. A lot of our other classes might have a theoretical project or a hypothetical person, whereas for us, we have that real user that allows our students to practice things like user interviews, developing user need lists, and then developing engineering design requirements, and then going through the brainstorming and feedback-based cycle to help them advance their project. Our program is based of 2 different classes that are 4 credit. So it's 1 credit per class, but this can look very differently based off of your institution, and we'll talk about that more in a little bit. And then, as I mentioned earlier, it is a repeatable class. In terms of the projects in our program, so there's lots of different great examples. We've had a long-term successful one that is called 33 Buckets. That is a nonprofit that spinned out of our program that is focused on providing clean drinking water for people in Peru. We also have projects at our local zoo. So this is a great area to find projects for students to work on automated food dispensers or complex toys for the animals that allow them to kind of go through that engineering design process. I really like zoos because there's pretty much a zoo in every city, and really easy to find ways to help zookeepers take care of the animals there. Another great resource are hospitals. So we have a lot of projects at our local hospitals, designing improved wheelchairs and other needs that they might come to us with for those particular projects. In terms of what is the goal of the program, so very simply, we want to allow our students to really understand what is engineering. So they're learning a lot of technical skills in their technical equation-based classes, but they very rarely get to actually apply those on real projects. So we're really that kind of key gap between what is it that they're learning in a textbook style class, and then understanding why that's actually important, and then applying it to those projects. So it really increases that student interest and improves the retention of students within engineering. For the global program, we're really interested in allowing our students to work with students from different cultures and different backgrounds. So that's a key interest for us to create more prepared students once they enter the workforce. And then we want to make an impact on our community partners. So the groups that we're working with, we want to have a beneficial, positive outcome for them. And then lastly, we want to have all of these things be involved in kind of recognition. So creating news articles, showcases, events where other people might come, and then learn about the great work that the students are doing, that the university is doing, and then what our partners are doing as well. So what does this look like in terms of a potential partnership? So this past spring, we had 4 different hubs or universities working together on these different projects. And it was roughly 30 students. We had about 15 Arizona State University students and then 15 Indonesia students across 4 different projects. So on average, it's about 3 ASU students and 3 Indonesia students paired together on those particular teams. Our Indonesia students were working in person together, and then our ASU students were working in person together, and then they were collaborating via Zoom every single week for 1 hour. In terms of the faculty lecturers, so for each hub or university, we're looking for 1 point of contact who's kind of in charge of managing their students. In terms of the commitment, I would say each lecturer commits about 2 hours per week towards supporting the success of this collaboration. So 1 hour a week, roughly working with the student teams, helping ensure that they have some direction. And then I would say about 1 hour per week meeting with me via Zoom to help ensure that we're providing as many resources as we need to the students. In terms of the other key components as well, you can see here what is provided. So just as a very quick intro video, in terms of this, I'm providing all of my lecture slides and then also the recorded videos as well. So in terms of this partnership, our class is taught as a 1 credit, once a week, 1 hour lecture with a 1 hour, once a week meeting time. So what we expect from your students is to be involved in that 1 hour per week lecture time. Lots of different ways that you can meet that requirement. You can have your students watch the videos. We're okay with that through the kind of initial pilots, but we do want to eventually find a lecturer at the respective Indonesia universities to then eventually teach that material. That could be as part of a class or integrating the material in an already existing class. There's lots of different ways to accomplish that. We're also providing all the assignments and assessment tools for the students as well. So the teams working together will work on those assignments together. And then I'm also helping you find different potential partnerships and helping with working with those partners to explain expectations and what a partnership would actually look like. So in summary, for those that do end up being involved with this, which we hope is a lot of you, the expectations are about 2 hours of work per week, helping advance your students, the projects, and then with the material, as well as attending my office hours. A key component that I always like to highlight is you do not need to have a technical background to advance a particular project. All of these projects are student-led projects, so that's very important. After about 2 weeks, I always like to tell my students that they are more of an expert on the project than I am. My background is chemical engineering, but we have projects that span all engineering disciplines, coding, all those type of things, and those are not my skill sets. However, we are still able to offer a very successful, highly impactful program. So in terms of the faculty and lecturers, you do not need someone that has the technical expertise. We just need someone that is helping them think through the design process, brainstorming, coming up with ideas, helping connect them to other faculty at your institution that might be able to help them with technical stuff. You do not need it yourself. With that, that kind of concludes the introduction. So how to get involved would be to reach out to our HEPI team, and then we can provide more in-depth detail on this. And then we also have a variety of different trainings to help prepare you in terms of teaching the material, operating the projects, and all of those guidance as well through those office hours. All right, I look forward to meeting all of you and can't wait to visit Indonesia soon.